Hey y'all, it's your girl Marvelous One here. Hope you are having a wonderful week. My week has been pretty good. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share on this here YouTube channel, as our goal is to bring our people together in unity, informing us of who we are and whose we are. So today I want to talk about the big news that's been I guess I'll say the big item that's been in the news about the initial draft that came out from Justice Alito regarding overturning Roe versus Wade. So it's interesting because you have a lot of these conservative representatives who talk about overturning Roe versus Wade because, God doesn't want people to have abortions, or Jesus isn't about that and all that kind of stuff. And so what I will say is, you notice that it's a lot of what you're hearing in the forefront. A lot of people who have that opinion are not African Americans. I'll put it that way. And then they're also not even really listening to the people, African Americans, Caucasian, Asian, just Americans in general, who do not want Roe versus Wade overturned, because people want the right to choose, or not people, women, because this issue only affects women. And here we have these old people who are European in heritage, who are male, predominantly, making decisions that affect women. No matter what race you are, it affects you as a woman. And this should not be done. People should have the right to choose, whether you're a religious person, Christian, however you identify. People should have the right to choose, because who are we to judge what a person decides to do with their body? We have no heaven or hell to put anyone in, so we have no right to judge what a woman wants to do with her body. This is my opinion, and I stand by that. So I'm not saying I'm for abortion or against abortion, but I am for choice. So that would make me a pro-choice person. If you are living a life and, you end up getting pregnant for whatever reason, and you decide that you don't want to have the baby, that's your choice. What the consequences are at the end are for you to deal with. It's your choice, if there are even consequences for doing such a thing. So, I went online and I looked up, what does the Bible have to say about abortion? Because, these conservative, right-wing people of the European persuasion like to always say that they are they're Christian, upholding the values of the Bible and that kind of thing. And for their Jesus, okay, fine. But for my Yahshua, whom I serve, I'm not giving into that. I believe it's about not judging and loving people, loving on them. You don't know people's situations where they're faced with the decision of, do I keep this baby or do I terminate this pregnancy? You don't know what's going on in their lives. I saw an interesting YouTube video where a gentleman was talking about how he was instrumental in making abortion seem like such a terrible issue. And it was titled, "Why This Anti-Abortion Activist Regrets the Movement He Helped Build." So his name was Frank Schaeffer, and it says he once produced propaganda films that helped launch the Christian right. Now he feels regret for what he calls an anti-family movement. So I encourage everyone to go and check out this video on YouTube on CNN. It was very interesting, especially the comments that he made regarding how evangelicals, well, pertaining to the role that evangelicals played in pushing this policy or this agenda, or as he refers to it as propaganda. I'm going to refer to it as propaganda also, because what it does is it takes the focus away from what truly is important to our spiritual growth. And people of the Caucasian persuasion who are evangelicals who refer to themselves as Christians, they force this propaganda on you, well, try to force it on us as a people, to take the focus off the fact that the main thing, and I always stress it to you guys, I've stressed it to you guys in previous videos, that the main thing that God, or Yah, the true God, wants from us is our obedience to his law. Not focused on the other things that man propaganda causes you to focus on: homosexuality, abortion, and those type of things. That's not what it's about. It's about the law of God. That was the whole reason Yeshua came to this earth, to help his people come back to getting in line with the law of God, because we started disobeying his law. That was the reason why we were scattered to the four corners of the earth, to be enslaved, to be oppressed, because we did not did not obey his law. Ended up worshiping other gods, ended up eating foods that we should not have been eating, ended up commingling with, I'll say race, even though race was not a thing back then, with different races. So I'll say heritages that we should not have been commingling with. So because our people did all of these things, that's the reason we find ourselves in the situation that we are now. So Yeshua came back to let us know, hey, you guys need to get back in line with the law, with my Father's law, because that's what he wants you to do. That's why that scripture says in Nehemiah, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, then will I heal the land and forgive their sins. So we're forgiven once we come into that knowledge of who we are and whose we are, and start obeying his law. So getting back to the overturning of the Roe versus Wade, I see this as the beginning of the total dismantlement of our privacies and our liberties, which does affect our rights under the 14th Amendment. They overturned Roe versus Wade for abortion laws. Next thing you know, they're going to go after education. And with that in mind, speaking of that, there is a Texas governor, Greg Abbott, who says he wants to challenge SCOTUS's ruling requiring states to provide children free public education. So I checked out the article, and of course and comments that this was something I saw on Twitter, and in some of the comments, people were talking about, oh, he's just talking about for undocumented people or illegal immigrants or that kind of thing. But to that, I say undocumented people or illegal people are not the only ones who enjoy the privilege of free education. I mean, look at the type of people who have their kids in private school versus the people who have their children in public school. Yes, There are black people who are in private school, but those are predominantly for Europeans. There are predominantly in European enrollment in those types of schools. So if Greg Abbott is allowed to do this in Texas, don't you think these other states, and it passes and he's allowed to do it, if the Supreme Court does overturn that, don't you think that other states are going to take that and run with it? And then what's their excuse when it's not about undocumented workers, when it's about poor people who can't afford to go to private school, when it's about our poor black people who, like I said, can't afford to pay for their children to go to private school. So then what do they do about education? It's all about them trying to roll back to take this country back to a time where our people, meaning black people, had access to nothing because they're so afraid of us getting back into our rightful place, which is going to happen no matter what they do, because Yah has heard our cry and is getting things in order. So no matter what they do to try to stop it, while it may seem like it's going to work on the surface, in the long run, it's not going to work. The games and plots and evil shenanigans that they're trying to pull to stop us as a people from having equal access to the things that they have access to is not going to work. In the long run, eventually we are going to regain our rightful place in Yah's kingdom. And I'm not talking about after you die. I'm talking about here on earth, on this planet. We will regain our rightful place. And it's happening soon, and they're scared. And that's why they're coming up with all these things to try and stop. I mean, suppressing voting rights, overturning abortions because because Caucasians or the Europeans are the main ones who are getting abortions. There are more black and brown babies beginning to populate this world, even more so this country, which is the focus here, this country, than they even imagine. And it just takes me back to thinking about how back when on Moses' scene, when Pharaoh wanted to kill all the Egyptian boys because they were afraid of what the Egyptians could do. And it's the same mentality that they have today. They're afraid of what we as a people can do. But it doesn't matter. I promise you, it doesn't matter what they try to do, what policies they put in place, what tricks they try to pull, what evil plots they form. They will not be successful. They may appear successful in the beginning, but in the long run, it will not work. So again, this is part of the reason why I stress do your research to understand who you are and whose you are, who we are as a people, not who they told you you are or what they told you you are. Research it for yourself. This is also why I stress vote. Make sure you are registered to vote. Vote at every level, not just the presidential races, because the main folks who really impact where you live are the judges, mayor, city council, sheriff. Those are the votes that you need to be involved in. Research the people who are running. Look at who better aligns with your ideals, because you're not going to find a candidate that, in my opinion, you will not find a candidate that lines up with everything that all of your ideals, but look for the one who checks off more pros than cons on your ideal list. So it's very important, people. Our people went through a lot for us to have this right, so it's our right and our privilege to enforce this right that we have before they take it away from us, because that's their ultimate goal, to take away our right to vote, because they see how powerful our vote is as a people and they cannot stand it. Because at the end of the day, there are more of us than them, and they're afraid of it. That's why they want to overturn these abortions, so that these Europeans and Caucasians can stop getting abortions, so that their population can increase, which is their hope. But just it's just not going to work, people. It may appear as it's going to work, but again, like I said, in the long run, Yah gets the victory in everything. No matter what it looks like, the victory belongs to him. So that's all I have to say today. A little quick video. Jump on here and give my opinion on what's going on with this Roe versus Wade situation. I was going to say fiasco, but it's a situation. I'm sure some of us as women feel powerless regarding this situation. And it also it made me think about the Senate confirmation hearings of Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh. And, these questions were specifically posed to them regarding their feelings on Roe versus Wade. And they all got up there and gave pretty much the same talking point answer. And at the end of the day, they lied. They lied about their views. They knew going in that this is the top of their agenda, to overturn Roe versus Wade, in line with Alito and I can't forget the other justice's name, but we know, of course, Justice Thomas will be on board with that because Jenny is pulling his purse strings, allegedly, in my opinion. Again, these are all my opinions, my views. You can feel free to voice your opinion, even if it doesn't coincide with mine. I'm open to hearing what everyone has to say on these issues. But it's just more propaganda to take your focus off of what the real issue is. And again, the real issue is that we are God's chosen people. Us as Black people are the true Jew. We are the true Israelite. We are God's true chosen people. So again, do your research to know who you are and whose you are if you do not believe what I'm telling you. Because just don't believe what anyone tells you. Check it out for yourself. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And with that said, that's all I have for you guys today. I love you all so much. Remember, it's about unity in our community. Please continue to support Black businesses. Continue to uplift and love on one another. I am we, and we are power. This is your girl, Marvelous One, checking out. Check me out or follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Black Scarf Chronicles. You can hit me up there, send any comments, questions, anything you want to talk about on here. You can hit me up here on the comments of this video, or you can also send me anything you want on Instagram or Twitter at Black Scarf Chronicles. So again, I love you all. Thank you all who are currently subscribing, who follow me, who like and share my videos. I appreciate all the positive feedback and comments. So that's it for Black Scarf Chronicles. Marvelous One. Love you. I'm out.